SoFloRadio.com, and SoFloTelevision.com.
Since the dawn of civilization, the elusive quest in pursuit of the perfect drink continues to evolve. Now more than ever, we reap the rewards of this passion. The perfect vintage, the finest brew, or a spirit of optimum age and class. And now, SoFloRadio.com invites you to discover the wonderful world of booze by the glass.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to By the Glass, another wonderful episode of Great Beverage Culture coming to you live from Hollywood, downtown. I'm here.
Thank you.
Joined here by my good buddy. What's your name these days?
I'm Ivan Bad. I put
Ivan
the
Bad.
official.
So
the
you're
official
super bad,
glasses on.
super bad.
It's been a while.
You know, I get to see my friend anymore. You know,
I know.
We're only doing shows like once a month now.
Coming back in style. The only thing that's wrong with my costume is I have a pair of Tito's sunglasses, but they're they've been confiscated. They've been confiscated, right, by my daughter.
Okay, yes,
that
makes sense.
My 13-year-old daughter.
Well, aren't you lucky that today on the show is Tito's Handmade Vodka?
Talk about coming back in style.
Absolutely, and we have Grant Portier, the Florida market manager for Tito's Handmade Vodka, in studio with us. Thanks, Grant, for coming down.
My pleasure. Thank you guys for having me. And by the way, I have an extra pair of sunglasses for you.
I think he was fishing a little bit.
It's in my car. It's in my. And he was definitely fishing.
I know Ivan pretty well, and he's pretty bad.
There's a reason for that. See. There's a collection of glasses, different sunglasses and 3D glasses that I wear on the show, and the Titos were a staple for a while.
For sure.
So, but you know, if you have kids, they think that everything that's yours is theirs, and they're not wrong. So
absolutely. They are not.
They're always
wrong.
right.
Except for the vodka. The vodka's all mine.
For sure.
I want my 13-year-old girl to be styling with Tito's glasses. It'd be trendy. I was wearing my Tito's sunglasses to a party on an island, and a very beautiful young lady complimented me on them.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, Tito's, I love that. I love that.
You, it's the Tito.
Everybody loves Tito. I'm hosting today's show on Tito's. But
Great.
Just kidding, because
co-host.
I could.
I'll let you guys just talk amongst yourselves.
I could gush for a while. How about if I
you're
gush?
Gonna gush. We're gonna let you gush.
Absolutely. I could gush and then let you
We're
take over.
We're gonna get you drunk and let you gush.
Oh yeah,
that's amazing.
With some wonderful stuff, but that's all coming a little bit later. Really, I want to start off with Grant, and first of all, once again, thank you for coming down here.
Sure.
Very busy man because he handles the whole state. And that's not easy in Florida. It's a big state, third largest consumption rate in the country, and one of the largest in the world. So if you wouldn't mind starting with a little bit of bio on you. I know it takes a certain kind of person to really fit that mold of what is Tito's Handmade Vodka. I mean, look at the accolades coming from George over here. We hear those types of accolades again and again throughout the market for the product itself, for the concept, for the pioneering aspect of it. And we want to see the kind of man that they would pick to go out there and preach the word. So,
well, I'd like to say that we're all a little off in this industry.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I came from a background. My father was in the wine and champagne business for nearly 30 years.
Really?
So that was
What
in
brands?
my blood. Rotor, mainly. So the importer of Rotor.
Excuse me, Cristal, baby.
I had Cristal in my baby bottle, you know.
That's amazing.
Remember stealing bottles of champagne out of the garage and making my way to Times Square plenty of
Wow,
times.
that's fantastic.
But I grew up with that as part of my culture, and growing up from my father was French, and so that was always part of every day. I found myself in the culinary side of the hospitality industry. Went to school for it. Out of college, I went to take over his manufacturing business. He had a smoked salmon business up in New York.
Is this amazing? European people are just so
what a great business
to
be in.
I'm lucky because I'm Italian.
So you get all the salmon you want,
food and
right?
wine everywhere.
Caviar. It's great too because it's funny. I'll go to like Total Wine to pick something up, and I'll bump into a guy. One time I bumped into a guy who was doing a champagne tasting. And I could tell right away by the cut of his suit, the look of his face, the hairstyle. And I walked up to him and I'm like, "You must like own the
yeah."
Of course he did.
Of
And he's just was like the coolest French accent. He was just so happy that someone was passionate about the wine.
Sure.
And we just went on and on.
And that word passion, we'll talk about passion. That word is going to come up a lot in our story. But, after I moved down to Florida 14 years ago, got a job as an executive chef and worked for this crazy man for about 7 years, driving from West Palm to Vero and back every day, which was a 96-mile commute.
Yeah,
After 7 months, decided that was enough. Got a job at a great restaurant in West Palm Beach, City Cellar Wine Bar and Grill.
Okay, I
kind
know
of
it well, yeah.
regrouped and got a job as a server there. Met my wife there, and worked there for about 5 years. Was working with the wine program, got involved with ordering, coming up with specials and doing flights, and was asked by the gentleman working for Coastal Wine and Spirits if I was interested in moving on with that job and maybe coming on board with Coastal Wine and Spirits because he was getting a promotion. I said, well, that sounds interesting. Let me do that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
wow.
So got involved that way, worked for Coastal Wine and Spirits, and did that for about 5 years before I was asked to come work for Tito's, which I thought was a low-end tequila at the time.
Actually, that does make sense, right?
Yeah, sure. Never heard of it before. And I credit my good friend Kevin Cawthon from Southern Wine and Spirits. I asked him about it. He said, it's not very popular right now, but it's my favorite vodka in our portfolio. And
Wow.
that was 5 years ago.
That's amazing. And we will get into a little bit more into Tito's, but what part of New York are you from?
Well, I grew up I was born in Manhattan.
Okay.
Lived in Westchester, New York, then eventually moved to Connecticut. Grew up in Greenwich and Westport, Connecticut.
An interesting breed, people born in Manhattan. My wife's in-laws from
Yeah.
Manhattan, born and bred, and I go visit them once or twice a year, and we just have the best time. And it's kind of like my own little escape into the world because they just like their little problems, their tribes and tribulations. What they do. They're Manhattanites. It's just like
It's a
not like
tribe.
the rest of the world.
Different problems.
yeah, Manhattan problems.
Yeah, it's so interesting. But it's amazing that your background in beverage and that passion that comes from just having that upbringing. A lot of people just really don't understand it. It's great that it's been bred into you.
Oh, yeah, my father was very happy when I went into the liquor business. Not really. He thought I was heading more towards the culinary aspect of things, but now he just shares in my stories because he can relate back to when he was in the business in those days, and so he revels in the fact of hearing about all my stories and making the big hits and going out and working the street just like he used to do back in the 70s and 80s. So it's pretty cool.
Where did you go to culinary school? What's a little history?
Well,
of
I
that?
went to Cornell University, a School of Hotel Administration.
Mm.
Went with the thought that I was going to open up my own restaurant. Got had a focus and concentration on beverage, and also
That's
studied
great.
The wine side, and really got to know the wine program there, and worked as a TA for the different wine courses, and really just kind of built up my wine knowledge and background really there at the university. Which
It's
is
amazing.
great.
Wine never leaves you. You
No.
know what I mean? No matter what you do. I'm in the beer world now
Right.
predominantly, but wine has always been my first love. Pretty much why I started this show, and my wife always harasses me. You never do as much wine. You don't drink as much wine. And I said, you don't listen to the show anymore because there's so much freaking wine that we do on the show.
Sure.
And spirits, and that's why I do it. So I have
Sure.
great people like you come on, so I'm always constantly in touch with the products themselves because, it really never leaves you, your love for all beverage. And but what an amazing history and great background you have. It's absolutely exciting.
Well, I do love all aspects of the beverage industry. I mean, from wine, I still enjoy wine. I enjoy beer, other spirits, rums. I love rums.
We call it beverage culture on this show.
Sure.
And that's why we spew the beverage culture. George spews a few things.
I just all day I'm spewing.
Yes, he's spewing.
I was spewing right before you got here.
Congratulations.
But beverage culture is predominantly what we talk about. And, it's just that love that just incorporates everything. And we're so happy to have you. And so basically, I do want to talk about the Tito's. And there's so much interesting history as far as, going back to the fact that, what you said to your predecessor there about it being a cheap tequila,
Yeah.
what was the common misconception 5 years ago or when.
Oh, geez. 5 years ago, I was the 8th salesperson hired by Tito in the country, in the world. And I remember when it was first presented to me, I looked at this bottle and because I'd already been asked to interview for the job. And I wanted to do my research on it, and I couldn't find really much on it. And I looked at the bottle, I'm like, God, the packaging is horrible. And I was used to selling Belvedere and Ciroc and Chopin and these echelon brands, these ultra premium brands. And I looked at this bottle, and I said, they don't care about their packaging. How could they care about the spirits in the bottle? And that was the first notion into like, okay, let me see what's going on with this. And I remember I was asked to come down to interview for the job, and I was very cocky. I wasn't looking for a job. I was very happy with what I was doing. I was working for a great company, selling the best of the brands out there. So I went in there with this, all right, why don't you sell me on this
Well.
vodka? I was a prick.
That's rare. That's rare that you pull that off. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was such a prick. I can't believe they still hired me. The one thing, though, that changed it was hearing the story about Tito himself, Tito Beverage, and hearing how he got started. And by the end of them telling me the story, I was no longer sitting back, but sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for the next part of the story. So after the first part of the interview, I drove home and I picked up a bottle of Tito's Handmade Vodka. I picked up a bottle of Kettle One, and I picked up a bottle of Zier vodka. Because to me at the time, Kettle and Zier were the two finest vodkas out there to me. And I brought it home, and I tasted them straight, room temperature. And it didn't matter if I tasted it first, last, second. Tito's won, and it won by a lot. So I had to, I got the call for come back and interview, and I decided not to be such a douchebag and really kind of sell myself, because this sounded like a really cool opportunity, and to come in and work for this brand that was just really getting its feet, and glad I did.
Is Tito's last name really Beverage?
It is really Beverage. It is.
Well, his middle name is Handmade, and his last name is
He wishes. That would be the trifecta.
How lucky.
You talk about a man whose name defined his life, and but there's so much more to Tito himself. Yes, his name is Tito Beverage. It's actually Bert Beverage the second, Bert Butler Beverage the second, and he was named Bertito, Little Bert. And
Okay.
he was called Tito Beverage, and actually he didn't know his name was Bert until the first day of school when they called attendance, and they were calling Bert, and he came home. He said, "Why'd you tell me my name is Bert? They've been calling me Tito my whole life." So he's been called Tito his whole life, and he's still Tito to this day. And Tito Beverage.
How did you know that?
That's great. He said Tito Beverage earlier, and I said that's a made up name. If ever there was one,
I think you're being
that's way
honest.
too
No, it's
convenient.
100%
Yeah,
true. It's
Was that French or what is that? Latin?
It's something.
Beverage.
It's Beverage. Texas. It's Texan. I guess.
Do you speak French?
A little bit here and there.
Little
I
bit.
practice more Spanish now, being in South Florida. You know, my father's 100% French, but he never taught me how to speak French.
It's interesting because my mother's 100% Italian, but her parents never taught her to speak Italian.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. But you got to. You
my,
were lucky
my,
enough.
My
to speak
daughters,
Spanish.
I'm Cuban. My daughters don't speak a lick of Spanish at all.
That was just
Gotta-
interesting.
But that's it, yeah, because we're in America. What? My older
know,
daughter
but-
took Japanese. She's fluent in Japanese, not Spanish. But she's a Rodriguez, but no, she's
Makes
fluent in
perfect
Japanese.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Ikiro Rodriguez.
You make your choices here in America. You know,
I guess that's true.
Hey, as long as they're learning another language,
they're learning something.
I'm full of
They're learning
on
something.
board.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, the Tito's is a great vodka.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's the
we're
language
having-
of love.
Everybody's got a Tito story.
Yes, and
because
we're-
it's still-
we're going to get into
still
your
new
Tito
enough.
story. I
Everybody's-
definitely want to hear about that. But let's hear about the story. I guess we can start to get into the story.
Yeah, I want to hear
of Tito, the man
Tito's
himself.
story.
Yeah.
His history and background, and what brought you to the edge of your seat.
Well, the story is incredible.
Yeah.
And you couldn't make it up if you tried. So Bert Butler Beverage the second, Tito Beverage himself, born in born in San Antonio. Went to school.
been there
Yeah,
a few
went
times.
to school in Austin. Went to UT Austin, so he's a Longhorn, and got a degree in geology and geophysics. And like all good Texans, went into the oil business.
I
And-
can't blame him.
Yeah,
Right.
that's where the money's at.
Sure.
Right? Started up his own oil company, called it Uno Oil, because he was the Uno employee. And then Bush Sr. liberated the Kuwaitis, and the price of oil bottomed out to about $6 a barrel, and that business failed.
Wow.
Had a good buddy of his that was working in the commercial mortgage business. And he said, "Man, I'm making tons of dough. You got to come on over with me, get your license. We'll make money together. We'll laugh all the way to the bank." So we did. He got his license, and as soon as he got into it, the interest rate skyrocketed, and his business failed. He's like, "Damn, I suck at everything." Right? So he's laying on his buddy's couch one night, deciding what to do with himself, and he'd already been flavoring vodkas for friends and family. He would buy vodka and he would infuse it with jalapenos or habanero peppers or whatever flavors, and he'd give it away as a present in the holidays. And he just was at a party one night, and it was a house party, and a guy came up to him and said, "Hey, you're that vodka guy." He said, "Au contraire, my friend, I'm the mortgage guy."
Yeah.
He said, No, you made that flavored vodka for us." And he said, "Vodka guy, I kind of like the sound of that. Maybe
Oh,
I can
wow.
do that for about a year. Make some money, make some friends, meet some women. Go out there, have a good time, and wait for interest rates to drop back down again, and maybe get back into the mortgage business." Well, so he decided, okay, that's what I'm going to do, and he already decided that was the goal. So he made a batch of this flavored vodka, and put it back in the bottle, screwed it on, took a case, went to the local liquor store, put it right on the counter and said, I want you to buy my vodka. And the guy looked at him and said, are you insane? What do you do? I can't buy your vodka. You just reclose it and flavor it. That's like something we would do. Right? It's completely illegal. And he's looking at this guy who's got this, flavored vodkas in this case. And he's like, what are you, insane? You can't do this. And he goes, besides, look at that wall over there, that wall of vodkas. They're all flavored vodkas over there. They're all collecting dust. Nobody buys a flavored vodka. He said, if you can make a vodka that a woman could drink straight, you got something
What
special.
year was that?
It was back in 92.
92, okay.
All right. Yeah. So he was told, all right, I'm gonna make a a straight vodka. So he asked the clerk. He said, well, how do I do that? He goes, you're the insane that just wants to go make vodka. I don't know. You go look it up. So this was pretty much pre-internet, and so
that's amazing.
Yeah,
asked the clerk.
Yes, the clerk. He's like, how do I make vodka? The guy's like, well, just because I work in a liquor store doesn't mean I know how to make anything.
None of them know anything.
Yeah. So he went to the library pre-internet, tried to find a book on how to distill, and I guess it was some government secret. He couldn't find a book on distilling 101, and what he did find was a book on moonshiners and the Prohibition. And just by looking at the pictures in this book, he built his first pot still. The guy's like MacGyver. Incredible. Just by looking at these stills and through trial and error.
Well, you say he was in the oil business.
Well,
those
he
guys
is.
are manufacturer. I mean, they know how to.
Well, he was a roughneck.
refined,
he worked on seismic blast. I mean,
that
the guy's
total sense.
Tito's done everything. He worked for the EPA, wearing hazmat suits, 180
So he's
degrees.
got a chemistry background,
geology.
and he knows how to manufacture something together mechanically, and
Sure.
and that's awesome.
Yeah, and he's not afraid to ask. He would, during the process of trying to figure out how to distill, he'd go back to his chemistry professors or people at the university and ask him, what am I doing wrong? How do I tweak it? How to make it better? And through that and trial and error, that's how he really came up with getting it to that point. And he made it in a 16-gallon pot still, and he make a batch, and he was doing really well, and then he had to build a larger pot still there on top of that, and then a larger pot still on top of that. It was maxing out credit cards, and he bought 11 acres of the cheapest piece of dirt in Southeast Austin you could find on a credit card by owner, and
credit.
he maxed out 18 credit cards and rung up $88,000 in debt and went broke for 2 years. And for 2 years, Tito was sleeping on the floor next to the still with his dog just to keep it running. And there were a whole lot of blood, sweat, and tears on his part. He's, come where he's at today.
That's amazing.
It's
That's
incredible.
a great story.
Everything that Tito's done, and he tried to find a distributor, to carry his product. Went to the biggest distributor in Texas, and they vodka,
that doesn't
Texas
work.
doesn't make sense. And you found this little boutique wine wholesaler, never carried a spirit before in their life. They said, we like you, we like the brand, let's go sell. And he did. Started selling it bottle by bottle, doing tastings out of the trunk of his car in parking lots of liquor stores.
That's really the American spirit right there. You
Yeah.
know, and the fact that the distributor gave him a break, which is kind of rare. But there's some good distributors out there that are willing to do that kind of thing. Looking for the little guy. And
Oh,
whatnot.
sure. Absolutely. There are lots of little distributors out there that are getting bigger as they get these brands. And as we talk about craft brands all the time, these craft brands got to start somewhere. And people are really capitalizing on the passion that mixologists, bartenders, servers, industry have for the brands and for the whole mixology movement. They like it.
The fact that it's just so different in general.
And speaking of mixology, Jason isn't here today. I was gonna
Yeah, we
mention that
missed Jason. Jason's my co-host, and
we're 18 minutes into the show today.
Yes.
and we're just talking about mixology.
Hello,
we
Jason.
are just talking about Jason. Oh,
Yeah.
Jason's listening at home. He couldn't make it. He's busy.
I'm getting, my
He owns
mouth
his
is
own IT
really
company.
dry. I've been eating these pretzels all day.
Prepping yourself for
I'm all primed.
Well, the thing
For
is,
some
George, to be
Tito's.
honest with you, if you want to look at it, we can peek into the, the inners of the show. We have one spirit to work with, so that's why I wasn't busting.
But there's a lot
I
of
have
it. I
20
see.
beers for you to
I see.
taste.
There's 2 bottles, and there's all
One
these.
spirit, but many ways.
Many
to
ways
serve
to
it.
serve
Yeah.
it. So I was
Accoutrement.
trying to get a little bit into the show. before
All
we
right.
started,
Well.
okay.
All right.
But what we're going to do before we do this, we're going to taste
We're
it.
little. Okay.
So
This
now
is
that
good.
we've talked about the man himself and his amazing
That's a great
story.
I'm inspired.
No, it really is. It's an amazing
that.
story. It's a wonderful story, and and not only did he, basically start a movement, but he also really, it's the inspiration of Handmade vodka and the fact that it's a craft spirit. So, talk to me about the craft spirit segment and how it differs from the macros.
Well, when Tito really was inspired by it was the craft beer movement. And he said, well, if they can make craft beers, I should be able to make a craft spirit. And the reason he calls it handmade is multifaceted. I mean, he calls it handmade for a number of reasons. One, he hand cuts the heads and the tails of the distillate by taste, which cannot be duplicated by any machine.
Which is kind of dangerous to do. I mean, if you get it wrong, right?
Yeah, I mean the heads and the tails.
Lucky
The heads
he still
mostly
has
high alcohols and
eyesight,
impurities. Exactly, go blind and liver disease. But he does it all by taste, and there's no machine in the world that can duplicate that process.
Is he still doing it that way?
Oh, absolutely. He says he loves distilling and he hates bottling. So he walks around the distillery all the time with test tubes in his back pocket, tasting it, and he's like, oh man, I'm working on a really good batch right now, and just enjoys it and loves it. Loves distilling. He loves making a product that people love. And he says that, I'm making one thing and the juice gets better and better every year.
I bet he's so good at that because a lot of people don't realize, petroleum distillates, the difference
Sure.
between the crude oil and gasoline is basically the tops and the tails. You
Yeah.
get
Right.
the very highest, finest grade level, and then you get the lowest crude. And, it's really not much different with vodka. You're distilling different levels chemically, and, one comes out.
The difference between his process and most manufacturers, most distillers out there, is that he copper pot distills it 6 separate times, the same way that they make single malt scotch and fine cognac in France. It takes Tito 7 to 10 days to make a batch, where you have these column distilled products which are made in 4 hours, 6 hours, less than a day. So Tito is cutting the heads and the tails by taste, leaving only the heart, what he calls the nectar of the spirit, and he distills it again. And again, and again, and again, and again. It's a very labor-intensive process that leaves you with a lot less at the end of the day. Whereas column stills, it just runs through a bunch of columns,
Right.
Sure.
and the particulate is collected and left with what they call an end
How
product.
many times does he distill it?
It's a minimum of 6 times.
Okay.
Sometimes Tito will taste it because just like grapes, there are different vintages. Corn has vintages as well. So sometimes he'll feel like, okay, this one needs to let's run it again. Let's go through a 7th time. So we always say a minimum of 6 times copper pot distilled.
That's amazing.
Which is pretty incredible.
That's great.
And
It shows.
And the main source of sugar, satra, is corn.
Which is 100% American yellow corn.
Which is so different from a lot of other vodkas. And why is it that he decided? Did he go through a few different things to get some starches?
He tried a lot of different raw ingredients. He tried corn syrup and sugar cane, and he tried wheat and barley and pretty much everything out there. But he settled on corn. Not because it's gluten-free, which is like, there's a fad out there for gluten-free and celiac
I don't even know
disease.
if gluten-free existed back then.
No, and that's the thing.
Sure.
Tito's Handmade Vodka has been
I was
around longer than Grey
before
Goose.
It was gluten-free. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's the thing. Tito's been making this product for...
Grey Goose is wheat, though, right?
It's French
Yeah,
wheat. That's
yeah,
correct.
yeah.
So he chose corn for no other reason than it tasted good. It had a little sweetness on the palate
yeah.
and went down smooth.
Well, that's the beauty of it, and I think that's very interesting because when I first tasted it, it reminded me of unaged bourbon.
When was that? What's your Tito story?
Oh.
Yeah, because
catching me off guard here.
there aren't a lot of
Let's hear
alcohols
yours.
that have a
Let's hear
story,
yours.
that have a story behind it. Well, I mentioned the girl, and she's my barber, Amy. Beautiful girl, exotic. She's a taiko drummer. You met her, she's just a really wonderful person. And we were all out. Our group of friends were out, and she was asking if at the bar she wanted a vodka drink, and she asked if they had Tito's, and the answer was no. This was years ago.
Call that
this
job
is
security.
many years ago. The answer was no, and she was unhappy, and so you go, what do you got? And they settled on something, and I'm like, Tito's. I'm like, Tito's. I never heard of that. And she goes on this whole thing. Oh my God, it's like you'll never drink another vodka. It's just it ruins you. Blah 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 blah. So the carousel. You said like I have a beverage carousel that someone gave me. The bottles hang upside down.
Those are upside down
Yeah,
bottles.
it's in the other room over here. And I was stuck. Somebody gave me the beverage the bottle carousel, and so I went to the liquor store to stock it up, and it was just in.
Right.
Tito's. This liquor store had just gotten them. They were on display there, and I'm like, oh, look at this, how handy. I'm like, well, this isn't expensive for all that she was going on and on and on. I was expecting something really, handmade. I was expecting something really expensive. So I'm like, put that in the
bottle,
carousel.
right.
She comes over, and I said, Amy, spin the carousel. Oh, yeah, the carousel. Give it a spin. And she spins it, and the bottle goes flying by. She like grabs it and stops it like, oh my God, you had Tito's. And so we had drank Tito's, and it was great. So shout out to Amy, and also Tony. I want to shout out to Tony Colombo, my other good friend, a Tito's fanatic. There are people that if they don't have Tito's, they'll choose something else. They just don't want to. They don't want to drink any other vodka.
You know what?
And Tony's one of those people. It's like if you he'll ask what you have, and if you don't have Tito's, he'll like choose
Man of
something else.
discerning
Yeah,
taste.
Sure.
We have the most cult-like following
Yeah.
that you've ever seen in your entire life. I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't know how it started. I don't know how it has grown to what it is. But people take ownership of this brand. They absolutely. There's such passion.
It's the taste. There's so much marketing going on for everything. Every pitch, every slogan, every commercial, every line, bottle packaging, and everybody trying to make something trendy.
Sure.
And it's just the taste, plain and simple.
It is.
It's a delicious vodka.
You know, I do have a Tito story, as a matter of fact. My wife and I were down in South Beach, and it's a little thing. You guys ever go to Hispaniola Way down there? Off of
Yeah, I know where that.
And Osteria, there's an Italian restaurant called Osteria down there. It's the main one. And it's got the hams hanging from the ceilings,
it's on the right
and all the
hand
different
side.
salamis and the craziness. And there's 3 people fighting behind the bar, and all the the Italian waiters, and they're walking around,
Talking with their hands a lot.
talking with their hands, all got slick back hair and everything. And it's just a crazy. And the guy comes out, that owns the place, and he's like, just came out of a rave, man. He's looking at me, he's like, hey, how's it going, man? And he's like, it was like, kind of mid morning, and we were just having a good time, and he's like, what do you have? What do you have? What do you have? And we're like, well, what do you got? And I look over and I saw the Tito's, and I said, are you in the mood for a martini, to my wife, because we never really drink martinis, and she said, really? At 11 o'clock? And I was like, well, it's, we're on vacation and whatnot down here.
It's noon
hanging
somewhere.
out.
Yeah.
And we had 2 Tito's dirty martinis. I don't think they were that dirty even. They were just like dry vermouth, classic
sounds yummy.
martinis. And
That sounds delicious.
we sat there and we drank at least 2 or 3 of them, and it is so out of character for us to sit and drink martinis like that. I mean, I love all different spirits, but
Sure.
I'm just not. That's just me. Martinis at noon. I'm just not that cool. And we sat there
On your yacht,
and
right?
because we just wanted another one, another Tito's. Tito's, absolutely. I'll take another Tito's. And I'll tell you what. Right then, I realized. I said, man, there's something about this vodka. It's just not like any other.
There is something about the Tito. If you look at the label, Tito always says she's not the prettiest girl in high school, but she sure knows how to kiss real well.
Wow.
That's what they said about my mom. Yeah.
Everything about this. There are
That's what I
certain
said about your mom.
There's certain Titoisms that he's got out there. It's incredible. The man is so amazing. I have passion for Tito. Tito loves everybody, and I think that's a lot of it too. Why people have such passion for the
You
brand.
guys must
because
have great Christmas parties.
Oh, yeah, wow. We're spread out all over the world. We have a great time
I know.
every
I'm just
day.
saying. I'm just
Every
messing
day.
with you.
So,
Are you spread around the whole world? Talk about the distribution.
Well, we are in all 50 states and Canada, and we've started moving into other countries, and we've got a great team, international team that are doing a phenomenal job spreading the love, spreading Tito's passion. One of the biggest ones that we have and that we've made as far as travel, the airlines.
Oh, wow.
We're on United and U.S. Air and American Airlines as the exclusive vodka. And we have a couple more airlines coming on board.
Great.
So it's great to have that captive audience. And people are much happier seeing Tito's than some of our competitive brands on there. They love seeing it. And the people that run the airlines and the beverage program there are just absolutely tickled pink to have Tito's Handmade vodka on the 33,000 feet.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
we are trying out some Tito's, and we're swirling it around, and we're, some of the notes that you pull right off of it. It's got that little sweet note of corn right
right away.
Yeah. You'll see when you taste this and you roll it around the palate, you're going to pick up that sweetness from that corn. You're going to get a little white pepper up front, a little sweetness on the palate. But one of the most interesting things is when you swallow, there is no burn or heat in the chest.
Right.
And this is room temperature. Actually, slightly warmer than room temperature.
That's
In
the
South
thing.
Florida,
It is.
room
It's a
temperature.
very warm vodka.
It is
No
nice.
bite.
burn,
No bite at all.
There's nothing
Yeah.
in the chest.
No.
And
Yeah.
and in 5 years of doing this and tasting, Tito always says taste at room temperature neat. That's the way you're going to taste it, apples to
Yeah.
apples.
Oh, yeah.
They mix it with ice and coming out of the freezer
Sure.
with juice. You might as well, you're not going to know till the next morning when you want to run into oncoming traffic. Then you know there's a difference.
Yeah.
Because of the screaming hangover. So you get it apples to apples. And whether you try it first at a disadvantage, because they say the second or third spirit always tastes better, we always put Tito's at a disadvantage. And I've never lost in 5 years against any vodka. $150, $200 bottles of vodka
Yeah.
to, whatever else is out there. And
Yeah, I
proud to
can't.
know.
There's got to be nowhere else that people are
No, it's-
sitting there,
it-
tasting it and dispatching.
It has a warmth like a whiskey,
Yeah.
like a good smooth bourbon.
Well, the Wall Street Journal called this the world's first craft sipping vodka, and they were right. It has those the little bit of that moonshine note, that sweetness from the corn,
Yeah.
but it has that cleanness, that pure straight ethyl alcohol that gives you that good even buzz. You wake up fine the next morning.
Well, it does have the sweetness from the corn, but it also doesn't have too much sweetness. Like we were trying to another product here a couple weeks ago or whatever, and it was a mash type product, and it had a very distinct corn sweetness to it. And then also, like I was saying, that White Dog type the bourbon, it's because it's 51% at least corn.
Yes.
It's just predominant corn, and it's kind of like it's good for mixing and stuff. But even some of the other whiskeys we've tried that are like that unaged, the corn is predominant.
Sure.
And it's little, there's a perfect balance, and this here is just that wonderful balance to where.
Yeah, like I said, Tito is always, he's not just one to just settle. Like he said, he's always perfecting it. The juice is getting better and better every year. All the pot stills are built by hand on site to his specifications. They're transferring hose from still to still and making sure that there's a hand on every part of the process. It's pretty amazing to see it firsthand, and to see the original shack that he was working out of, where it was half of a, you got half of a keg and a chain hoist and a shower head, and I mean the thing is like Frankenstein, the first pot, so which he still uses for R&D to this day, which is amazing. And we're going on our 19th year, which is incredible, and he's always looking to make the best product out there because his name is on the bottle. And that's the thing. He doesn't want to be called.
Did you ever take any Tito's and make infusions out of it again after that?
Heck yeah. We make infusions all the time.
Yeah.
Tito said that the best flavored vodka is made with fresh ingredients, what's locally and fresh available. So if you want to flavor Tito's, here you go. Here's an infusion, or make it yourself. And we play with infusions all the time. I've got vanilla and tart cherry and dried blueberry, and we'll start doing candy ginger and pineapple, jalapeno pineapple. I mean, you name it. We've even had Buddha's hand infusion, Tito's handmade vodka, basil, different herbs, and going to the savory that really makes some amazing, amazing cocktails. And, I encourage true mixologists to get away from the pre-flavored vodkas and make infusions, make it your own, make it to the way you want it to, and know that you're working with great ingredients. I try to live as natural a lifestyle we have our own vegetable garden at home, and we grow our own vegetables for our family, and we have a great time with it. I encourage the same kind of mentality and philosophy into your beverage program as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. I know, one of the girls we've had on the show numerous times, Paige from Tap 42.
Oh, yeah.
Paige is the best.
I'm sure you know her well.
Oh, yeah. She made this amazing called the Mad Apple with Tito's handmade vodka, and they used a beer to make the they had a simple syrup.
Right, she reduces the Leviathan.
Leviathan,
Harpoon Leviathan.
Incredible. Actually, I was just there for lunch last week, and Tap 42, they're great. Paige, good shout out.
Yeah, and she could probably sell this over at the Mexican restaurant because it's Tito's.
Right?
We'll make a Tito Rita or a Motito.
Ooh.
That's another thing, it's definitely derivative enough, to where you can, branch out, use it for drinks that are technically have other
Motito
spirits.
sounds good.
Oh, the Motito's
Some people
great.
prefer this to rum.
Oh, yeah, for sure. From your standard, substituting Tito's handmade vodka for the rum, making it cleaner, less sweet, Motito. The flavors of the lime and the mint come right out, or muddle in some fresh berries, or take it to a spicy and add some jalapenos in and really kick it up. It's just, it just adapts the flavors really well, and it expresses them bright. Wow, it's great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have Grant mix us up our first drink. And he brought these wonderful copper mugs, and we're going to get to see some high-end mixology here when we come back on By the Glass Show on SoFloRadio.com.
At SoFloRadio.com.
We do big things.
Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now. 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
I heard you had a new karaoke gig.
I do have a new karaoke gig. It's at a wonderful location, Sea Breeze Bar and Grill in Davie.
What kind of place is that?
It's a family-friendly restaurant, and they have 18 flat-screen TVs, a pass-through indoor-outdoor bar area, and a beautiful covered patio.
Besides your Tuesday karaoke show, what kind of events do they have there?
Wednesday is open mic and wine night.
Is that when I can go and wine?
No, it's when you can go and buy wine for 50% off. That's not just glasses, that's bottles as well. Thursdays is Trivia night, 7 to 9.
What about happy hour specials?
Happy hour is Monday through Friday, 4 to 7.
I'm assuming they have really delicious foods and maybe some food specials?
They do have food specials. Actually, 11 specials for lunch that are $6.95, and that's 11 to 3. Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., they have breakfast.
I'm assuming they have a website where you can go and find out more information and hours and their calendar.
Absolutely. They have a website that includes their specials, their calendar, upcoming entertainment, everything.
You're going to tell them the website, or you want me to?
You tell the
I
website.
was looking it up. It's seabreezebarandgrill.com. And what I discovered, and you're leaving out the most important part, is all the beers. You know, they have 46 beers there, I noticed, from their website.
Yes.
Including 20 on draft and a lot of craft beers that are really exciting and trendy. They have Inland Monk in the trunk and Dirty Bastard in the bottom.
They do.
Among others, they have several Sweetwater, they have Funky Buddha beers, they have a lot of beers there. So for those craft beer lovers out there.
They're a full liquor bar, so whether you drink beer, wine, or liquor, they've got you covered.
They're at 4995 Southwest 148th Avenue in Davie. I'll be seeing you on Tuesday for your karaoke show. What time does that start again?
Karaoke is 6:30 to 9:30 every Tuesday.
At the Seabreeze Bar and Grill, 4995 Southwest 148th Avenue in Davie.
Become a leader.
I'm Steve Gordon, your host of CEOmanship.
Your success is his business.
A radio show for business owners and CEOs.
CEOmanship.
We talk about how to grow your business, customer retention, customer acquisition. We interview CEOs from across the world and talk to them about their businesses so that they can share ideas with you to help you grow your business.
Monday from 2 to 3 p.m.
Gordon Partnership, where your success is our business.
On SoFloRadio.com.
And now we return you to By the Glass.
All right. Welcome back to By the Glass. We are having a wonderful time here. We got Tito's Handmade Vodka in the house. Grant Portier, he's here, and he's just shaking it up for us. You know, it's a roller coaster of love, all about the Tito's and the wonderful entity that it is. And we are very, very lucky to have Grant has brought some really awesome stuff.
I feel very lucky
He even brought
today.
the copper cups, man.
I did.
It's very
These
nice
copper
of you,
mugs,
Brad.
You talk about swanky swag.
These are choice, man. I'll tell you.
It
These
really
are
is.
like the bomb. So we're going to be doing a few things here. I don't know if you wanted to
talk to me a
dive
little bit
into it.
about your mixology background, or what you know, because obviously you go and you talk to a lot of bartenders
Sure.
in a lot of places. You know, what is that usually like? I mean, do you
It's different for every single customer.
right?
Each bartender, mixologist, sommelier, barkeep, you know, they each have their own philosophy as to what they want to use Tito's for, and how they envision it fitting into their beverage program. And so you have to kind of adapt to what they're looking for, and then kind of gently suggest other ideas that they maybe haven't thought of before, and how to utilize Tito's in ways that's just other than vodka cran, vodka soda.
Right.
You know, and so you have to be creative and take, you know, I guess the experience of, you know, mixology as a whole, staying up to date on what the trends are out there and making them your own, and trying to convince people that, yeah, it's a good idea to, you know, put jalapeno in a cocktail and see what happens with it, you know, or make an infusion from elderflower or whatever it is that you're doing with the brand, and saying this can work for you, and it's not that hard to muddle a couple berries even though you're a sports bar. You know, it really is a challenge sometimes, but everybody, especially the last few years, have come on board. They see the value in it. I can tell you, I've seen the transition where people used to have just that economy well, that bottom shelf rot gut, and that's what they poured.
Well, Smirnoff was pretty much the house brand for everybody like 15, 20 years ago, right? I mean,
Even Smirnoff is better than what they were pouring at a lot of these places, Aristocrat and Crystal Palace and all that other nonsense. I mean, like real rock gut. Smirnoff's a great brand for what it is.
Oh no, I thought you meant like as far as like, you know, call brand. I wasn't trying to put down Smirnoff.
No, not at all. But you know, there's a lot out there. So you know, taking your experiences and through trial and error and seeing what's worked out there. We have our core, you know, cocktails, which we love to feature. We have Tito's favorite. A lot of people ask, what is Tito's favorite drink?
Oh.
Well, it's Tito's soda, orange, and a lime wedge. You know?
Yeah, orange juice,
orange wedge, and a lime wedge.
Oh, okay, great.
And
yeah,
he'll do the
great.
own squeeze. You know, I know that the Eastern VP, we call it the Nest Tito, and that's Tito's soda and an orange wedge, and mine is I don't know, whatever the wind may take me. So, I mean, I love the mule, and the mule is a really hot drink.
Great. Mule is hot, so let's start off with the mule.
So send your cup over here, and we're gonna make a mule, and I
hope you all at home are watching because this is
this is gonna be interesting. Yeah. For all those who listen. So basically, we're gonna start with ice in the traditional mule cup. The traditional mule is served in a copper mug.
Do you have a story behind that? Why?
I hear different versions of the story. Why don't you tell me your story of the mule
I
cup?
honestly don't know. I mean, I've always asked people. No one's really had anything legitimate.
The story that I heard was that back during, right after the Prohibition, you had a copper mug salesman and a ginger beer salesman, both lamenting about their sales at a bar. And say they didn't know what to do. I have all these copper mugs. I don't know what to do with. I have all this ginger beer. I don't know what to do with. And the bartender leans over. He goes, "Well, let's try to make a cocktail." And pulled out the vodka and mixed a little ginger beer with the vodka and a little bit of the fresh lime juice and came up with the Moscow Mule. And they were using Smirnoff at the time, and that's when Smirnoff was made back in Moscow, and that's in Russia, and that's where they came out with the Moscow Mule name.
Wow.
So
that's interesting.
Now that's one story.
That just seems a little far-fetched for me. I don't know.
No, that's a very believable American story because that's what people do. Is you got something, you got to make something with it.
Well, that's that's a belief in America I love, George.
Yeah,
it's a great ingenuity. Yeah,
that was the original iron bartender, I guess. Right? They're all sitting down there trying to figure out what to do.
I got this and a peach. What do I do?
and a peach.
Wow.
So the ginger beer.
Yes.
Tito's handmade vodka, ginger beer on the rocks in the mug, and I'm going to need a little bit more right here.
In this day and age, you can find this pretty much at any really fine establishment.
I picked up this ginger beer. This is Belvoir Fruit Farms organic ginger beer that I got at ABC Liquor Store,
But I mean, like the Moscow Mule. I mean, it's pretty much popping up.
Absolutely. I think that the mule's really found its way into popular society because it's so refreshing. It's 3 ingredients. It tastes good. It's you can drink a few of them and not feel like you're weighed down. Sometimes you can only drink so many Bloody Marys before it gets a little rough.
Right.
No. So.
Sometimes.
A little fresh.
That's how I get all my vitamins.
And then a little.
Very nice. The fresh lime.
We got stuff. Oh, we got all kinds of stirs over there.
See right
there. We got
there.
swizzle sticks.
Yeah,
we got
there's grab a straw. It's always the way to go.
A glass
We're
rod
going to
in
go
there.
MacGyver on this one, just like Tito, right?
Just like Tito did it.
Exactly. And then, of course, garnished with the traditional lime wedge. Feel free to add a little bit more.
There you go.
Beautiful. Thank you. Wow.
Thank you so much, Grant. This is beautiful. So
cheers.
Well, here's to Tito.
Yeah.
Grant for coming down. And
cheers. Thank you.
To a wonderful ingenuity.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's delicious.
You get the bite of the ginger beer.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really delicious.
Acidity from the lemon, a little bit of sweetness. I like to add a little extra lemon myself.
You too. I can't get enough lime. I'm Cuban.
I just love that accent of a really fine flavor of the vodka. Not like any of that burn or nasty.
I just you drink Tito's. You're not trying to drown it out with anything. You really want to taste the Tito's.
The American, we call it the American Mule because we're making it with American vodka versus a Moscow Mule. And the great thing about it, traditionally, I love serving it in the copper mug. It's got that cold, the condensation, it makes it refreshing. We're in South Florida, it feels good against your lips. It goes down quick.
It's insane how this one I've only had it once or twice before in an actual copper mug, and it's just amazing how much different it is. The whole experience because it's sensation, right?
Exactly. That's why you see a lot of people in mixology that are using herbs. They'll slap the herb, release the oils, and they'll float it out on top of a
George uses herbs all the time.
There you go.
Yes, I have a garden. herb garden.
He grows mushrooms and herbs in his garden.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
You're quite the chef.
Yes. That's how I'm a mycologist and an herbalist.
Right? Love it. So that's our American Mule, and what I like to do, if you'll indulge me here a little bit, we have also the Texas Kickin' Mule. All right.
Okay.
We add a little jalapeno and give it a
does
shot
it?
here.
Does it?
It doesn't take it too far. It's one of those ones that prevents you from nursing your drink. The longer it sits, the spicier it gets.
Oh boy!
So you can give this a shot.
Yeah.
I'll let it steep a little.
Get a little bit more of that vegetative quality. It sits in there. Some people like a little bit more. You can always garnish it with a little jalapeno.
Wow.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's for the brave boys.
For the guys, for the guys that really enjoy that spice, but
that's lovely.
You know, and there's a great restaurant in Austin, Texas. There's a lot of great restaurants, and if you've never been to Austin, I highly recommend it. It's a great town.
Never been to Austin.
I heard it was the Texas town to go to.
It is.
None of the other ones, just Austin.
Just Austin. I mean, it's the live music capital of the world. You've got college football. You've got 6th Street.
No zoning laws. Do I have that correct in the city? That's
sure. Yeah.
This is what I heard. I saw a special.
Should I even ask what exactly does that mean?
That means that you can build anything anywhere.
Pretty much.
That you can build a carnival in a residential neighborhood. So the city's kind of a free for all of imagination. Like
really
if you have
is.
an idea for a restaurant or a business, you can just open it there.
Yeah, they have this little
you
area
can
called
live
Rainy
anywhere.
Street that they've converted all these houses, and these houses are now restaurants or bars.
Right.
Really?
So you have different
I've
rooms.
heard
Like this
about
living
that.
room is now, your one bar area. This is the dining room over here.
It creates a lot of spontaneity in the city. Just you never know what's going to pop up where.
And that's why they're big into the food truck culture. They have the food truck hubs. They pop up. They get 10, 15. I think they have over 400 or 500 food trucks in Austin alone. It's just a funky, cool, weird city. That's pretty much
great.
what our company's all about. We're a bunch of weird guys that got together. You never imagine us meeting and getting together.
What's the big music festival out there?
Well, you have South by Southwest.
That's it.
And then you also have ACL, Austin
Are
City.
you guys like a big sponsor at South by South? Or do
We get
anything with
involved
that?
as much as we can. We're big into the music. Tito fancies himself a musician, and
I
he
heard
plays guitar.
you were talking to me about guitar before.
Yeah, well, we had a great program. We Gibson's from Austin, so we partnered up with Gibson, and we branded a bunch of guitars, and Tito signed a bunch of these guitars, and we did some great displays and some programs with it, and inspired me to kind of take up some guitar lessons. So I'm waiting for my first lesson.
That's great on a Tito's guitar, huh?
Right.
And they're good guitars too. You said it was a Gibson Epiphone.
Yeah.
I have one, and it's a wonderful guitar. So.
They're really cool looking. They're awesome, man. So we're having a lot of fun, and we come from a weird city, and a bunch of weird folks just getting together selling this weird vodka brand and having some success.
Speaking of weird, I've never had a hot cold drink before.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. So
Can't stop drinking it.
No, it really is. Just
delicious.
Keeps going down real easy.
It's nice because the tartness and the ginger isn't too sweet. It's just spicy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's a really nice
Well,
contrast.
ginger goes good with spice. That's why when you eat sushi, they got the ginger and the wasabi.
Yeah, no, it
for
cleanses your
balance.
palate, and then the lime gives you the acidity. So,
Well, we're big into pairing Tito's with food. We talk about food all the time. We did some Tito's pairing dinners. I had a great country club up in Vero Beach where we paired up a whole dinner, course by course, with different Tito's handmade vodka cocktails, and went over amazingly.
Wow.
So, it really takes to whatever you guys want to do with it. You can just drink it on its own, drink it straight, drink it neat, pair it up with meals.
Yes, we will. all of those things.
For sure.
That's great, and a great retail on it. Well, this is do you do like this is the liters for the
This is the
off
leader for
premise?
exactly. That's the leader
I
for
know
the
how
on-premise.
much they cost.
But so it's only handles in the off premise 175.
No, we have 50s, 200s, 375s. We have 750s, the leaders, of course, and then the 175s. The 175s retail, most of the off-premise, the retail stores for about $29.99.
It's unbelievable.
And 750s around $18.99. It's a great affordable price. Tito said it's like buying filet mignon at a pot roast price.
That's true. It really
No,
is.
I was really amazed by the price when I first saw it.
Well, that's why it's not in a fancy bottle. There was a method to his madness. I mean, if you look at the bottle, it's a recycled paper label because he was dating a vegetarian at the time. I told him that he needed to make it with recycled paper. Even Tito's Handmade is Lucida calligraphy from Microsoft Office.
Now he can date somebody with celiac and get away with it.
Exactly, and it is gluten free. We are naturally
It says it
gluten
right
free.
in big letters too.
Yeah,
That's just so cool.
A lot of times people claim that they have a gluten free product, but we start out as a naturally gluten free product from the beginning because corn is gluten free.
Yeah.
So we are certified gluten free, which is terrific. We're also certified American made. We are 100% made in the USA, which is great. So it's all red, white, and blue, and one of those.
I love that.
Yeah, it's
so huge.
It's a feather in our cap. We're really proud of where we come from and what we've been doing with this brand. Each one of us has our own passion that Tito's instilled in each one of us. I mean, nobody can make us work harder than ourselves for this, man.
Did he use a still to instill that in I have the rim shot drums up there.
Probably should have brought that down.
I might say something funny.
That's
again.
so huge that USA, American made. He's from Texas,
Yeah, well, Tito loves where he's comes from, and he's so appreciative of all his success that he does a lot to give back. And you talk about his philanthropy and what he does for charity. In Florida alone, last year we sponsored 550 charity events in the state of Florida.
That's unbelievable.
It's truly amazing. He said, Grant, it's because of these people that I'm successful. Let's give back and show them what we're all about. And yes, there's an aspect of it builds goodwill in the community and notoriety, but at the end of the day, 550 events is no inexpensive undertaking, and I work my team to death, but we try to help out as many people as possible.
How many people do you have in the state?
Well, I have my event coordinator, Amy Shannon. She's amazing. I couldn't do my job without her. She processes all my charity donations. She's actually packing up her car right now to go away for the weekend in North Florida. I've got Dwayne Wildridge out of Tampa. He runs North Florida for me. I have Matt Homish out of Orlando, runs Northeast Florida for me, and Patty Diaz runs South Florida for me out of Miami. So I've got the most eclectic, weird, awesome, hardworking team in the business, and it's truly awesome. And then, of course, my VP, Rich, he lives in Jupiter, so we always say he's the sixth man, and just kind of have a great time with him. But we're just doing our thing and going out there and keep doing the charity events, and we partnered up with some cool stuff. Tito said that if you have a passion about anything, let's throw a label on it. Let's put a Tito's logo and have fun. And my passion, one of the main reasons I moved down to Florida, was I love offshore fishing. So we were able to create a Tito's offshore fishing team and an inshore fishing team, and we've been doing that for a few years, having fun, tooling around in the Tito's Handmade Vodka boat, and
there you go.
Nice. fishing tournaments, and
lovely,
having a great time. And now it's expanded. There's an inshore team in Louisiana, and we've got a team in North Carolina. We've got a cycling team and a sailing team. We've got a couple of Airstreams, and we're going to.
I'm sure that whole thing works into the charity with the shootouts. And all
absolutely. I mean, all these fishing tournaments are tied in charity. It's how it actually all started. I was asked to sponsor a charity event called the Cinco de Mayo tournament 5 years ago, and I just met this little team and loved what they were about, loved their passion for the sport, and I said, let's throw a Tito's logo on a bag and get you some shirts. And 5 years later, we got a 34-foot boat with 3 engines on it. Just having terrassing up and down the intercoastal.
That's amazing.
It's really cool. It's really cool. We do a lot of fun stuff. We even have up in North Dakota. We've even got we've got a Tito's Handmade Vodka ice house.
Oh, really? I thought you were going to say it was a snowmobile team.
Oh, I'm sure. That's probably the next. Yeah, we've got this guy Chris.
So what's an ice house like?
It's literally a house that has wheels, and when the lake freezes over, they roll it onto the lake.
Yeah, for ice fishing.
Yeah, for ice fishing. They cut a hole in the damn thing.
That's
and then they've got the bar set up in there.
George is from Minnesota.
Montana. Where we have North Dakotian jokes.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Because, man, if you've ever seen the map of North Dakota, it's a perfect rectangle, and the interstate's just a straight line across it. First of all, there are no irregularities for the road to go around.
Sure.
It's just featureless. It's a yellow plain of grass. But the highway builders, I can just see them. It's like, we don't want to spend 1 minute more in this state than we have to get from east to west. They're just straight across, man. Like they tied a string on one end and build and just follow the string when you build this road, man. There's nothing to see here.
I'm sure the Tito's rep up there has the best job in the state.
Well, we're actually going to be up there. We partnered up with Sturgis again this year, and it's the 75th anniversary of Sturgis. So Tito's has been sponsoring the event up there, and we'll be up there with the Easy Rider.
It's amazing you can find something everywhere.
You know what? When you got passion for it and you want to find it, we can incorporate it into anything. It really is everybody's vodka, and that's the cool thing about it. People ask me, well, who's your client base? Who are your customers out there? Well, anybody 21 and over.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I see the Saint Germain is here. And
I was just going to say, what's with the Saint Germain?
I never have had anybody make me a drink with that stuff, but I've seen it in all the magazines over the years. And
well, that was the elderflower liqueur of choice at the moment that I had. But we make a drink called the Texas Sipper.
Okay, great.
And the Texas Sipper is fantastic. It's Tito's Handmade Vodka, grapefruit juice. I'm going to use these.
Yeah. Sure. Awesome.
Jars here. Frozen ice. We'll have one here. So Tito's Handmade Vodka, grapefruit juice, and elderflower liqueur, fresh lime juice, and soda water. Another one of those easy to make, really refreshing cocktails. My friend Krista's favorite drink here. It's so funny. So we're going to have a little Tito's Handmade Vodka right here. Now, I have this fantastic juice. It's Natalie's Orchid Island grapefruit juice. They do a whole line of fresh juices. They're actually local out of Vero Beach.
Oh,
they
cool.
make the best juice, orange juice, tangerine juice, which is seasonal.
With the Natalie's?
Natalie's. And there's
Orchid Island, is that a real place up there?
Well, there is a real Natalie. Just like there's a real Tito, there's a real Natalie.
Cool.
So she's fantastic. They
That's a
help us out
beautiful
with
looking grapefruit juice.
Oh, this is the stuff right here. And they help us out with a lot of our charity events as well.
Buy local Florida citrus, folks.
That's right. That's all we do here. So a little grapefruit juice, a little elderflower liqueur.
Now, elderflower, what is that in essence of?
Well, it's the elderflower itself, and actually, elderflower. This particular brand, the elderflower, is grown in France, and they actually hire the homeless to harvest the elderflower to make this spirit. Actually,
Wow, that's a cool story.
yeah, it's pretty neat. So they give them a job.
That's cool.
So,
But still, they're homeless.
it's still pretty much.
Give
Yeah.
them, pay them,
They don't use the money to buy
pay
a
them,
house, George.
Pay them more. They could rent a
They're not paying
bungalow
for the whole year. Where's that? Where's my mixing
Here it is.
There's
There's a glass rod in there.
Wow, this looks exceptional.
Is this not a Greyhound, or what's a Greyhound?
Well,
What am I
Greyhound is just straight Tito's handmade vodka and grapefruit
thinking?
juice.
Right.
This is more imaginative.
Yeah, we put a little more
So many
thought
twists.
into this here. This is the Natalie's here.
Wow. I mean, just stick your nose up there. Just so fresh and lively. It's like the
And
morning.
just you're right, we
Here,
really
you
smell
can
the
use a
grapefruit
little
juice.
more.
it's like the morning in a glass.
Here, give a little bit more in there. I didn't have my trusty little measurer here.
No worries. Hand.
Okay, I'm gonna eyeball it.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
we're gonna be all right here.
I'm excited.
Well, I guess I'm not going skating tonight.
Sure you are. Sure you are.
Okay. Oh, here, you want my swizzle stick?
You don't think you can pull it off?
I could.
There
It's
it
just there's a safety thing. I fell a week
Wow.
ago
Oh, really?
skating. I bruised a rib, broke a rib. I don't know what I did.
In your garden?
I took a swan dive. No, it's roller skating because it's pretty. Tito want to sponsor a roller skating team?
Why not?
I tripped over my own feet and swan.
Don't
dive.
they do that like kind of derby?
The roller
in-
derby.
in Texas, right? It's big.
They
there.
do it all over. There are teams all over.
We promote the
WCW.
roller derby team down here. We have a
Oh,
team
yeah.
that I've been promoting for years now, since I was on regular radio.
Sure.
Wow, that is exceptional.
Yeah. The elderflower really.
Oh, that
Once
is
again,
delicious.
it's just like the vodka is just like hint.
First, yeah,
Hints.
it's just there to
You certainly
add.
would not want to cover it up. It's like
It's just complimenting the grapefruit juice, talking
Really?
about how good it is.
so lovely.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, it also goes to show you when you use a quality ingredient, you're going to get a quality cocktail.
Right.
Not just the vodka, but whether it's the mixers, the juice, the sodas, the liqueurs. I mean, that's our mindset. You want to use the highest quality products ever. I mean, the chef doesn't, cut corners when he's serving a filet mignon. He wants to get a nice prime cut of beef. You're going to use fresh vegetables. You're not going to pull the frozen bag of veggies out because you care about what's going on there. If people care so much about the food coming out of the kitchen, should care that much about the drinks coming out of the bar.
And the drinks coming out of the bar should talk a lot about the food that's going to be coming out of the kitchen too.
Yeah, right, because the drinks coming out first.
That's
And
right.
second and third and
know.
fourth.
Steal a little thing from the beer world. If you walk up and see his tap lineup, and you can tell pretty much what kind of food he's serving right then and there, and then also what kind of beer and wine and
If I'm
spirits
going to a
he has in
nice
his back
place,
bar.
I order something straight because I'm afraid that the drink is gonna ruin my experience depending on the bartender not getting it right. So I'll just order, a whiskey or something like
Sure.
that. Just
When you
I
know
don't wanna,
you've got a high quality
Yeah, I
whiskey.
know I'm gonna go eat a nice fillet or some steak over there, and I don't want a weird drink or send it back, or why did you
Sure.
give me this weak drink, or
Yeah, well, to counteract some of that, if you go back to Paige's place at Tap 42, they actually have Tito's on tap.
Wow,
get out.
pre-mixed.
Yeah, we have these the pin lock and ball lock kegs of 5 gallons, and
Yeah.
whether it's a mule or whether it's one of Paige's concoctions, mule on tap.
How very Key West.
It is. Key West is one of our best cities. They love Tito's down there. We've got some great friends. That's the great thing about this job. You make a lot of friends. It's all about the relationship, from being in the industry. This job has been fantastic for me because I first moved down to Florida. I thought, it was Miami and West Palm Beach, and then there was, Orlando. You had Disney World. And then this job has taken me all over to the Panhandle and going to Destin and how beautiful it is there, and St. Augustine, and you go to Naples and Key West and the Keys. Every little bit of us traveling through the state. We have the most amazing state.
And
we really do.
I agree with you, and I think that's why they call it fountain of youth. There's no specific place, but it just keeps you young. I mean, if you just those harsh winters. I mean, there's poor people in Boston, and what you got to deal with, and getting up is just and even when it's cold down here, you're like, you know what? I like the cold, but it's just like
it's a relative term,
you know. But seriously, just a wonderful feeling that you can just the exuberance of life in Florida, and just it's
so
amazing.
much to do.
Yeah,
there really is. It's for everybody, and after the winter that everybody else in the United States had, I am happy to be down here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you incorporate the sea as well, which is, just a huge part of it.
For sure.
I was lucky enough to go sport fishing for the first time in the Keys about 4 or 5 months ago, and I had the time of my life.
That was your first time?
Yeah, and I was like high like a little kid.
We will have to take you on the Tito's boat.
Oh, well, I would love to.
We will definitely take you on there.
I'll just take the Tito's.
Well, I want to say
Tito's on the Tito's boat.
Oh, okay.
I just want to say if there's anything you want to plug, but first I want to thank Grant so much for coming on. And when you enjoy Tito's, please do so responsibly. Don't drink under 21. Do not drink and drive. Enjoy responsibly. And Grant, you're the man.
Thank you very much, guys. This has been an absolute pleasure.
Tito's.com? Or?
Tito'sVodka.com. We're also at Tito's Vodka for our Twitter and Instagram. And please check us out, see all our events, and hope to see you out there. Thanks for drinking American.
See Grant out there. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
SoFloRadio.com, the South Florida Radio Network.